What is going on? What is going on? What is up? It's your boy Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness. We're about to take off and class is in session. So, the NFL playoffs is live and uncut. Several heartbreaks. Number one, my Giants aren't in the playoffs. We weren't even close to even making the playoffs because we were a laughingstock because our general manager is an idiot and our owner is a bigger idiot for keeping the general manager that literally dismantled the team. I'm not going to belabor that point because if you want to hear how I really feel about that situation, just watch my video about the Giants suck. Because they do. As a New Yorker, we are not delusional about our sports. When we suck, we will tell you we suck. However, when we're on, you can't tell us nothing. And it's a fact. So, I am telling you right now, we totally suck. Because we have a general manager that's a complete idiot. His son would do a better job. As a matter of fact, John Mara, fire him, hire his son. Not even kidding. Not even remotely kidding. His son actually named the best players to draft the year that they got Malik Neighbors. They got Malik Neighbors. The son wanted Jayden Daniels and said personally, you only got this job once and you want to win. I'd get Jayden Daniels. I'm just gonna repeat that one more time. His son told him to draft Jayden Daniels. You want to win, and you want to win while you still got this job. Whoo! Oh my God, he only has one season, but at least in my eyes, he's got one season. But in all honesty, Jayden Daniels is in fact special. Ever since the game against the Bears where he threw that Hail Mary and they won that game, I literally screamed in the top of my lungs like it was crazy. I'm not even a fan of the Washington Commanders. I'm not. They're my rivals. I'm not a fan of the team. But I can be a fan of a player. I can enjoy, to a minor degree, the exploits of a player, even if they're my rival, i.e. Saquon Barkley, who I actually wanted to stay a Giant, which is a whole nother story. I sincerely do hope that Saquon Barkley whoops our behinds every year for the next 2 years, because he whooped our behinds twice already this year. He's got 2 more years left on his contract. I hope he whoops us for the next 2 years, whoops us senseless. And if he stays in Philadelphia, continues to whoop us every single time he plays us. Every time. Especially as Joe Shane is still the general manager. I sincerely hope he just runs for 300 yards every time. Okay? But another story is that Jayden Daniels is special because I honestly cannot say I've ever seen a rookie quarterback do what he's done in the way he's done it. They talk about his poise. His poise is something to behold. You could tell he's been well trained, right? His training has to be up there because the level of confidence he has going into each game that you watch him in is the only other player I've seen like that. He wasn't even a rookie at the time. He was a rookie in the sense that he was playing in his first actual starting role as the quarterback, but he was not a starter. He was already on the team for a year, and that is Patrick Mahomes. I have not seen a dude this new to the game play with such levels of control and poise and just flat out sheer ice water in his veins. Again, I could tell the truth and still not want that team to be successful. Sure, they could win 10 games, they could win 12 games, they could win 14 games. But when they play us, lose. I can do that. I could want that. I could want him to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league while still losing to us. To us. Now, which is the Giants. Now, like I said, that's highly unlikely. But in all seriousness, why do you think Jayden Daniels is special? Do you think it's because he has all the gifts, he's quick, he's fast, he can throw the football? Most quarterbacks can throw a football. Most, NFL level quarterbacks can throw the football. What separates an NFL quarterback from every other quarterback in the league is their training, their mind. What if I told you Jayden Daniels has a secret? And Jayden Daniels has a secret that has been working for him for the better part of 2 years now. Are you ready for it? Because I'm going to share my screen with you.
You're gonna want to hear this. This blew my mind. This technology is the reason the Commanders are in the NFC Championship game. Shout out to Todd Jacob for this incredible story. But Jayden Daniels made VR training a condition for any team that drafts him. Why is that? He's training his brain at 1.75 speed. The turning point in Jayden Daniels' career from Arizona State to LSU was in large part due to two German entrepreneurs. These two individuals created a VR company for soccer, but it was failing and it needed a breakthrough. But this man, LSU's director of performance, saw something special in the VR company. So in week 3 of the 2023 season, LSU decided to test it out on their QB, Jayden Daniels. Everyone held their breath and wondered, would it help him on the field? Answer, yes, absolutely. Jayden Daniels had a monster game. But why? Because everything had slowed down and he'd already seen it all before. What the VR is doing is speed manipulation and cognitive rewiring. Everything runs at 1.75 speed, defenses move faster than in real life, your brain adapts to the height and pace, and the real game feels slower. It provides you with 300 extra reps per week, thousands of mental reps, zero physical tool, pure neural adaptation. But here's where we saw the real breakthrough. Florida game, Heisman on the line, he couldn't practice all week, he barely got cleared. He puts up 600 yards? You ask, how did he do it? He wasn't even practicing. His brain was practicing, his mind was working, running through scenarios, reading defenses, processing coverages, building mental maps. Technology is mind-bending.
Let me pause it there real quick, because even that was risky. Let's get down to it. First of all, when you suffer a concussion, the main problem is that when you suffer a concussion, you're supposed to actually give your brain a rest as opposed to applying stress to it. Even mental stress. It doesn't matter if you get jostled. It doesn't matter if you get jolted. The simple act of thinking deeply can put you at risk mentally, because it can hurt because of the brain waves and the brain activity, and the brain is injured at this point when you suffer a concussion. I don't know how long into his concussion protocol did he actually exercise this VR training, because also you got to think your eyes are seeing things that aren't really real, and it's processing it as though it were real, which is putting extra stress on the brain. On top of that, having to think about what's happening as you're seeing what is not real and processing what is not real at 1.7 times faster than it's actually happening, also puts the brain into a position where it might be overstressed. This could have actually backfired, right? Because he could have turned his, when I say turn his brain into mush, don't get it twisted. I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. When I say he could have turned his brain into mush, is where he could have been overstimulating his brain so much that what he would have processed in real time would have actually stressed him out to the point where he couldn't perform, right? So I just want y'all to understand that that was a huge risk that he took to do this.
eye tracking, stadium-specific details, every defensive scheme imaginable, real play calls recorded by coaches, custom built for each opponent. The reason why it's been so effective for Daniels is because he sees everything at 1.75 speed. Pre-VR, never topped 1,000 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, mid-round draft prospect.
So, I want you to read this. So, read this with me. Before VR, never threw over 3,000 yards. Career high, 17 touchdowns. Mid-round draft prospect, meaning he was going to get drafted 3rd, 4th, 5th round. Third or 4th round, he would have been a draft pick, right? Post VR training, nearly 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. That means every time he threw for 400 yards, guaranteed he had at least 1 touchdown. Heisman Trophy, 2nd overall pick. Guess what pick the Giants had that year? The 3rd. NFL Rookie of the Year. He's definitely NFL Rookie of the Year. It hasn't been given to him yet, but who are we kidding? He is going to be Rookie of the Year. All right?
VR, nearly 4,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, Heisman #2 pick, NFL Rookie of the Year, and he's in the NFC Championship game. Want to know why the VR coming into the picture and him breaking out is not a coincidence? He was so convinced by its technology that he staked his NFL future on it. He said, you guys need to have this or I don't want to be there. Every morning he uses the VR simulation. This revolutionary technology is the next big thing for quarterbacks.
So, I promise you, if people are going to believe in it now, because you got to think about it. 1.7, almost twice the normal speed of what's happening around him. Meaning you won't, certain defenders won't be able to use this. Maybe the cornerbacks can. Maybe the safeties can. Maybe even the linebackers can. But linemen won't be able to. Either defense or offensive linemen won't be able to use this. You're only going to run but so fast. You're only going to be but so fast. And guess what? You can't speed yourself up to catch him. You have to hope he physically slows down. Not mentally, because he's not going to mentally slow down, because everything is just going to simply look slow to him. So let me give you an example. So for those of you who are like real high-level players in certain games, you're playing at such a speed that you play things on such a high level. So for instance, when I would play my fight night games, I would literally go to greatest of all time mode and fight, and I would lose. But then once I got the feel for the game at greatest of all time mode, everything else was a joke. A complete joke. People that I fought seemed like jokes to me because they couldn't even fight at GOAT mode. They couldn't get to GOAT mode with me because I see Muhammad Ali in GOAT mode, and trust me, you don't want to see that. Go play Fight Night Round 4 and fight either Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali in GOAT mode and see how frustrated you're going to be, because Muhammad Ali is tagging you. Everything is like flash pops. You're getting flash pop every time. No punch that he throws on you is not flash popping. You're just getting thudded every single time until you learn how to watch his movements, until you understand the nuances of his movements, until you understand how he's countering you. And when you start understanding what he's doing to you, then you start formulating a strategy on how you're going to go about beating him when he makes and making him make mistakes. And then when you make those mistakes, I know I'm talking about video games, but I'm actually speaking on the VR level of what Jayden Daniels is doing and what's making him special. So then once you strategize on what you're dealing with, now you follow the game plan to the letter. You don't mince words until you are so good that now everything is slow to you. Muhammad Ali is predictable in GOAT mode. And then now everybody in the league is predictable. Their they're showing you what they're showing you, but then the minute that they start moving into positions, if it's not man-to-man, and guess what? Jayden Daniels is forcing the NFL to get to man-to-man coverage. But the problem is that if you go man-to-man coverage and you give him a lane, guess what he's going to do? He's going to run. So Jayden Daniels is creating a new wave in the NFL just by merely putting on these goggles. Guys, do me a favor. If you are watching right now, do me a favor and put a like in the video. Like the video so far, because I am cooking. I am telling the guys how to shoot. This is good training in general. So we could get into virtual training in the sense where we could start putting drills in play. I'm talking about physical drills, because now you have to react to what you're doing, and in real time, if not faster than real time. So everything seems slow to you. Even you seem slow to what you're physically reacting to. Think of it like, as a matter of fact, it's almost like seeing things like your Quicksilver or the Flash. Bullets are whizzing by, and you can literally, you're moving so fast, mentally you're moving so fast that you can touch bullets and move them out the way. Whereas everybody else sees you moving blindingly quick, to you, you're just moving. Michael Vick once said when he was running and he ran for a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings and made two players smack into each other. He literally said, they asked him, what did you see the two players coming in, converging in on you? He said, yes. So what did you do? He said, I decided to run faster. Everybody laughed. I knew he was serious. He knew, based on the angles those two players had on him, the only way he was going to get past them is if he moved just a fraction of a second faster. And he did. And they smacked into each other, and that was the end of it. Okay? So, this new VR training that's coming your way is going to be phenomenal for sports in general. That German company that created it, hats off to you. You're about to be richer than rich. Richer than rich, because it is just going to be that. Guys, if you have any comments or questions for me at this point in time, feel free to put them in the chat. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. But I'm going to also move into my next video, because this is also important. Because one of the things that, as somebody that assists in running a gym, I don't like creeps. I don't like guys, or girls for that matter, who try to prey on the patrons of a gym. So what does it look like for a guy? Not necessarily the staring part. And when I say staring, it's like, it's a difference between giving them 1,000-yard stare. Like, that's weird. But if you're just looking at somebody because you appreciate the physique that they have developed and they worked hard for, by all means, enjoy. Look at them, go back to your workout. If they're passing your visage, look. I don't think there's a crime in looking as they pass by. However, what I do believe is, if you're going to just stare off at them like you got binoculars, you're gross. You're weird. You might want to chill out. Relax. Being a little bit too untoward to a woman, making inappropriate comments, saying things about her body while while she's even present in front of you, like as if she's not there, hearing what you're saying about her. And then on top of that, putting your hands on them. Well, I got a video for you. Because those of y'all who, And then for the girl side, I forgot, for the girl side, trying your best to garner that attention to cause somebody to look at you, as opposed to just letting it be organic. And then either feigning offense that somebody's looking at you, or getting offended by the things that you have on in the gym, and then turning around and pretending like you're offended, or being offended for that matter, that somebody looked at you when you know what you look like. And I'm not talking about whether you're attractive or not. I'm talking about you know what you left wearing out the house. You got on shorts. You got cheeks leaking out the bottom of your shorts. Inappropriate. I wouldn't say it's inappropriate. What I would say is, don't be mad if somebody saw you. You got 90% of your cleavage out in the gym. Don't be mad if somebody looks at you. But what I'm saying is that that does not give anybody the right to touch you or to make inappropriate comments in your direction. That is not acceptable. If they look at you real quick as you pass by, or they're staring at you as you work out for a hot second because they're like, wow, or whatever, fine, let it be that. But if they're like just camping on you, then yes, you have every right to feel uncomfortable. You have every right to feel uneasy, and then you have every right to address the situation appropriately. However, be fair in your approach. What I would say is like something like, I know I look good in what I got on, but can we be adults here? You don't have to stare at me for so long. Can we, you got a workout to do. I'm not even, there's a difference between being in somebody's line of sight. So like, for instance, I'm in the camera right now. If you were to turn around and walk directly in front of this camera and stand in front of me and then work out and then get offended that I'm looking at you, that's a problem. That's a problem for you, not for me, because you are in my line of sight. Now, if you are 6 miles behind me somewhere and all of a sudden I gotta break my neck and turn and look at you, I mean, if I turn and look at you for a second, fine. And I'm speaking for guys here. But if I'm turning and I'm staring and I can't stop looking at you for God knows what reason, act like you've been here before. Act like you've seen a body before. Act like you've seen a beautiful body before. Stop acting like you have never seen a woman ever in your entire life. Because it's weird. It is weird. So, but the ladies, I'm speaking for y'all. I'm speaking in regards to the creepers, is the ones that are trying to get your attention. The ones that are doing the most to get your attention. That's what I'm talking about. Those are female gym creeps. All right? But you're going to love this video. So check this out. Let me share my screen. Let's watch that again. I'm gonna rewind and play that back. So watch. So number one, he's talking. So let's start with this. Your man is talking, and then the woman is working out. She's minding her business. And as a matter of fact, this is fairly, I wouldn't say it's conservative for the gym, but it is kind of conservative for the gym. You still want to see your body. I understand, ladies, you want to see your body as it is, as it's in motion, as appropriately as humanly possible without exposing yourself. So she's got on a long sleeve compression shirt. She's got on some yoga pants or some compression pants, and she's working out. And here this guy comes and literally uninvitedly just touches her on the butt. Pokes, you know, trying to show what he's doing, what she's doing. Even if, as a personal trainer, even if I am trying to demonstrate to someone else how this person is actually effectively training, I am not touching them. First of all, I'm also going to ask permission to even reference them. I'm not just going to say like, yeah, so you see this lady over here, she's actually working out, her glutes are tight, she's doing this, her abs are firm, this, that, the other, and her back is, you know, no, we're not doing that. I would actually stop what I'm talking about and say, excuse me, ma'am, I am watching you work out, and I think that your form is great, and I would like to utilize your technique as a means to educate my client or educate another member of the gym. Do you mind if I do that? Usually I get, sure, go ahead. Now, again, if I'm number one, I don't talk weird about people around them and even behind their backs. I would turn around and actually talk about what it is that I'm talking about. So if I'm going to mention how this woman's glutes are working and how she's performing a certain way, I do not have to touch her at all. I don't have to touch her. Now, if I'm critiquing her, meaning I'm telling her that she can actually benefit from doing something a little different, I would demonstrate the movement. First of all, I mimic the movement, the negative movement that I'm seeing. The bad movement that I'm seeing, I mimic the bad movement directly to them, and then explain to them what are the procedures necessary to fix the movement. Now, if I see that that person is having difficulty with that, if I see that person's having difficulty with that, I would then say, ma'am, do you mind if I correct your movement by placing my hands on you? Now, here's the deal though. I would not be touching any parts of her body that is inappropriate. I can touch the sides of her hips without touching her glutes. I can touch the back of her elbow. I can touch the upper portion of her back to get her to squeeze her back, stick her chest out, tighten your stomach, elbows back. I don't have to touch her. So whether he's a personal trainer or whether he's just some Joe Schmo in the gym, check this out, but let's keep going. Just told me. Oh, by the way, she did in the video say, don't touch me. So now all of a sudden he invites himself to, first of all, why are you spotting her when all she has is a medicine ball? She didn't even ask for a spot. She looked like she was just fine before you got there. She did not need a spot. Do you see any insane amount of weight on her? No. Elbows are in front of her. So guess what? Spotting her is not necessary because she can just drop the weight if it's too heavy on her ascent back up. Number one. Well, that's number two. Number three, this is not a back squat. So if you are back squatting, supporting her, you don't support her near her glutes. Anybody that has any type of training etiquette in a gym knows this. This is not even high level stuff. This is not where the intricacies of body positioning and muscular contractions and what supports what and three-dimensional movements and all of that. We're not talking about none of that. This is basic level stuff in the gym when you're spotting somebody. You wouldn't spot a dude like that. I'm being real. You wouldn't spot a dude like that because you know you get your face dusted. What you touching my butt for? If it was a back squat and your hands are back here, you support from the elbows. You support from the elbows. You don't support from the butt. You don't support. First of all, what is supporting from the butt gonna do? You're gonna lift her up with 100 pounds on her back? You're gonna hoist her back up, supporting her properly, standing her back up. No, there's no support there. There's no ability to assist her safely because if you're pushing on her hips like that, you could easily throw her back out. Because if you forcefully push her back up from her glutes, what happens is that now you're shifting her lower spine in an uncomfortable position, which then causes her to possibly throw her back out. And you don't want those problems because now you got a lawsuit because you injured her. She didn't invite you. She didn't ask for your help. And on top of that, you injured her. You're getting sued and she's going to own you. Just on that level alone. We're not even getting into, we haven't even gotten into the physical violation of her space yet, or the physical violation of her person yet. You physically violated her. You touched her on her butt. For those of you who don't know, that is a intimate portion of anybody you touch, male or female, man or woman. It doesn't matter. That's intimate. A woman can't come walking past me and touch me on my butt. I might not sock her. I let my wife do that, but I'm not going to be happy at all. Shoot, a lot of times I don't even like it when my wife does it, let alone another woman doing it that I don't know, like, or trust. Nah, even if I knew, liked, and trusted them touching my butt would end that no, like, and trust factor. Just straight up. You don't like it, don't give it. But in this case, yeah, pun intended. She drops it, she drops the medicine ball, and she works him. And she looks like she works out. Absolutely deserved every bit of that. That three-piece combo came with a side of coleslaw. Cold slaw. Okay? All right. Next on the agenda, here's another thing that I wanted to discuss with y'all. This is something in relevance to, let's see what this one is. Okay, no, not that one. We're not going to get into that one yet. Now, this one is about appreciating the human body, right? Now, how many of you, for those of you who are out here who have lost weight, and whether it's an extraordinary amount of weight or a significant amount of weight, extraordinary being triple digits, significant being double digits beyond 25 pounds, right? How many times have you heard somebody say, I liked you when you were the old you? I liked you either way. Kind of burns you a little bit. That doesn't, and I know their well-meaning intent behind that, because saying that you find somebody attractive at their worst, or in their opinion their worst, is flattering in some ways. So, like, for instance, you know, if girls that knew me when I was much, much smaller turn around and said, I thought you were cute then. Yeah, okay, fine. You know, that's a nice thing to know. But I worked hard for this. I worked hard to get where I am. And to hear that they liked the old me better after all the hard work and dedication that I took to become bigger, stronger, faster. Well, bigger and stronger now that I'm older. But bigger, stronger, then no. I mean, I understand that, you know, for those of y'all who are old enough to know who LL Cool J is, LL Cool J is significantly larger than he was in 1984. LL Cool J has always been in shape, but LL Cool J is significantly larger than he was in 1984. All right? But what does that mean? Were you going to turn around and tell LL, hey, dude, you know, I liked you when you were on bad. Your bad bod was doper than your new bod. He's going to be like, thanks, I guess. Right? But here's the video, and I'm going to share it with you real quick. Let's get with it.
chosen when we.
Oh, that's right. I gotta. So let's go back. So this is her, assuming that she's about 200. Apparently, she's 200 plus. So here she is, 200 plus pounds. Now, it's clearly, I don't know how tall she is. I actually, if I'm guessing by, I don't know how tall that door is. That door looks kind of tall. I can't tell. It looks like a giant sized door. So because of, I would normally look at the hinges and then understand the ratio of where the hinges are in relation to your height. But I can't quite tell. But that's a normal woman body. You can see that the outlines of her abdomen. You can see her collarbone. She has a little bit of cellulite. And when I say that, I'm not judging in the sense that, oh, you can get rid of that. You need to get rid of that. I'm not doing that. I'm not body shaming her. Don't get it twisted. I'm actually expressing that this is a normal woman's body. She's not obese. By no means of the imagination is she obese at this stage of her physicality, right? So I want y'all to get that through your heads. If she's over 200 pounds, she's still not obese. This is what I'm talking about when I tell people that of the 27 body types. I would probably say she's a upper meso, lower endo. I don't know how tall she is, so I can't say she's short, average, or tall. But if that door is as tall as I think it could be, she might be closer to tall than she is average. She might be average. I'd actually say average or tall is my guess, right? But let's keep going. So now, let's go. Why didn't that not freeze? So now, she's a little smaller. The cellulite has decreased a little bit. I don't know if that's a filter or if that is just her hard work. I'm going to be decent and assume it's her hard work. It could be lighting. You understand what I'm saying? However, she does appear to be a little bit more sleeker. She doesn't look like she's smaller. And then again, I'm not suggesting that she should be smaller. As a professional, I am not suggesting. As a matter of fact, if she came to me in that form right now and said, I need to lose weight, I'd probably tell her you might not need to. If you do embark on this journey to losing weight, that is of your own volition, and it's not based on health. It is because it's a cosmetic thing that you are in desire of doing. I would never suggest a woman in either of those forms to lose weight because of her health. Because that'll be disingenuous and asinine to do that. Because I could see her ab muscles. I can't see them shredded. Being shredded is a cosmetic thing. It is not a health thing. When you see a woman with six-pack abs, let me tell you something. That's not necessarily, it's for show. It's not for health. A normal, healthy woman does not need to have six-pack abs. If you have them, great. But it's not necessary for your health. So, even your fitness experts don't necessarily need to look like that to be healthy and fit. But anyway, I digress. So let me get back into the video because I want my man 6'7". I'm 6'7". Shout out to him in this video, and I want you to hear what he had to say.
Now, I've seen plenty of videos like this. When women do their transformation, they go from 200 plus to like 100 and something pounds. And most of the time, the comments are good. But then the other times, you have a bunch of guys in there saying that they preferred her the other way, 200 pounds plus. First off, the majority of the times when these 200 plus women get online, y'all calling them fat. And that's fat.
So, let's start with that. Y'all do. I don't. You're not fat until you are fat. And what does that mean? I know that sounds stupid, but you're not fat until you're fat. She didn't have excessive rolls on her. She didn't have cellulite to the point where she's swimming in it. She didn't have Dunlap on her bikini where you couldn't even see the lower end of the bikini. That's not what happened. So, and even that in of itself, that is not a critique in the sense of whether or not somebody you're worthy of love or attraction. I'm suggesting about your health. That physical look is a direct correlation to your health. But some of you ignorantly call women that are bigger than you fat. And you have not a slightest clue what the hell you're talking about, because like I said to you before, that woman, if she weighed over 200 pounds, let me tell you something, she's not fat. She's thick, she's not fat. And she is still healthy. She is a upper meso, lower endo, meaning she has large legs naturally. There's nothing she's gonna do outside of cosmetic surgery and unhealthy living that will cause her body to change shape. Notice she slimmed down, she lowered her body fat percentage, but where did those thighs go? Nowhere. Where did her original frame go? Her waistline, where did it go? Nowhere. She got a little sleeker, but her body didn't go anywhere. Does that make sense? So as a result, you might turn around and hear that she might be 170 pounds. Assuming she was over 200 pounds to begin with, she did not lose a significant amount of weight. She lost maybe a significant amount of weight. She might have lost maybe 25 to 30 pounds. So at the low end, she was probably 160, 155 max. No, not even. No. I'd say 165. Max of 165 based on the video, right? If she is 200 pounds. I don't know how much she weighs. I can't even tell you how much she weighs based on the video. But assuming that she was over 200 pounds, that transition, I know she's not, if that is 200 pounds originally, I know she's not under 160. I know it. I'll bet my last dollar on it. If she was 200, there's no way that she's under 160 if she was 200 pounds in the original video. But let's continue.
These women set out to lose weight and reach their goal to feel good about themselves. The absolute last thing they want to hear is you prefer them the other way. Not that they even care. At this point, I believe y'all people be confused and y'all don't even know what y'all really like. If she's 200 plus, y'all selective about that. Me, I don't care if she's 200 plus 5'4" or 200 plus 6'1". Y'all gotta normalize letting people celebrate when they reach their goals that they worked very hard for.
He's saying it better than I'm saying it. You got to let people shine, dude. You can't turn around and be crapping all over people's accomplishments. You celebrate those accomplishments, whether you wanted them or not. Yes, you might like her better at 200 pounds. So what? She busted her behind to get to where she got to because she wanted better in her mind for herself. I'm gonna repeat that. She wanted better in her mind for herself. And here you are trying to tell her to go back from her improvement. So let me put it to you this way. You're a millionaire now. You used to be broke. Now all of a sudden people turn around and say, you know, I liked you more when you were broke. You think you're gonna go back to being broke? You think you're gonna try to turn around and think that you're gonna accept that as a compliment? Yo, I used to like you better when you were broke. Because as a matter of fact, what you're actually telling me is that you like me in a position of weakness. You liked me better when I lacked, and that I possibly potentially needed to rely on you. You liked me better when the power dynamic was in your favor. Now, on the flip side, don't be a dick if you became rich. However, if the attitude of the people around you is, I liked you better when you were broke, you really think you're going to turn around and entertain that? You think you're going to enjoy that? You think you're going to want to listen to that? No. You're going to tell them kick rocks. And rightfully so, because you know what? I'm rich now. I'm not going back. I'm not trying to go back. I'm not trying to be broke. Which is a poor mindset, by the way. When you rather somebody be at their worst than at their best. That says a lot about you than it says about them. Now again, if their personality changed to the point where they're no longer a kind, decent human being, because when they were broke, they were a kind, decent, humble human being, now all of a sudden they're a jerk. Yeah, I might say I liked you better when you were broke. I might say it then. But if I'm just not rolling over and playing dead for you, and you just throw it out there, I liked you better when you were broke, nah, you're throwing slights, and I'm going to turn around and have something to say to you. Directly, as The Rock would say.
Take their joy by telling them you prefer them better the other way because they could care less. Keep the negativity to yourself. Respectfully, of course. No.
I'm gonna land this plane. Guys, all of this comes together like this. When you are achieving greatness, however you achieved it, as long as it was ethical. If you are achieving greatness ethically, do not let anybody ruin your joy. From Jayden Daniels, like I said, I like to see him lose against my team when he plays us. But I would love to see him succeed as an NFL player. Just as a player, I love to see him succeed. However, if all you are about is negativity, if all you're trying to do is steal somebody's joy as they're ascending to new heights, do me a favor, leave them alone. Flat out, leave them alone. Because they are reaching a place that you at the moment cannot reach. And I said at the moment because I don't root for anybody to not be successful. I just wish that your success happens not at my expense. I just hope that your success comes at a point where either I helped you get there or I just didn't prevent you from getting there. Unless we're in a competition. If we're in a competition, I hate it for you. But in most cases, there is no competition. It's just me versus myself. But if you got something negative to say because I'm in a place that you're not, keep it to yourself. If you see somebody busting their behind on a day-to-day basis, trying to make things happen, trying to ascend to the next level, whether you want to go there or not, keep it to yourself. Stop being a Debbie Downer. Stop being the buzzkill. Stop being the joy stealer. All things are possible if you believe. When you have to be negative about somebody's success, that is because you feel that poorly about you. It's a self-esteem issue. It's a poor mindset. And I'm going to hold you accountable when you do. But I will encourage you to be successful. Always. As your trainer, I will always be that. Guys, that's all the time that I have. If you have not liked this video and you have made it this far, please do me a favor, hit that like button, because it'll help me get this algorithm on my side so that way more people can get the information that I put out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.